Hey girls, hey. Hey boys, hey. Welcome back to my channel. It's MAMABUDEEZ here. Welcome everyone. I hope it's not blurry. If it is, we will just have to use my voice. I am coming on super early to test out the internet connection and to just catch up before we read the reports. This is a place where we do not hate, we participate, we articulate, we speculate, and if you don't act right, we'll have to regulate you right on out of here. Thank you so much for all my wonderful subscribers being patient with me. It has been a hell of a week, and I am finally getting a chance to dedicate some time to my channel. I miss you too, Tristan. Jennifer and Tristan, how is the quality? Is it blurry? Do I need to do voice only? My internet connection is something else, you guys. As soon as I get my new car, I promise you I will upgrade my internet connection. That will be the next thing. But right now, I am Ubering myself to death. And I need to focus on the car first, and then I will get the internet fixed. Yay. Thank you. Thank you, Tea and Balls. Hi, Jenny. Good. It's not blurry. Let me know the second it gets blurry and I will change it to just voice because there's just so much to catch up on. First of all, how are all my wonderful humble beauties? How are my beauties? My beauties, my beauties. Hey. We have not been doing Monday Mama meeting. I feel so bad. We're going to get back on track with that very soon, ladies. I feel like I've dropped the ball on you, but just life got so busy for me. And if you count YouTube, I have like 6 jobs. I sell Mary Kay. I sell the nail strips. I'm a life coach. I clean for Dee's Dust Destroyers. And I have the Patreon group. And I have the YouTube channel. So there's just so much going on. And I hate that I haven't been able to be here much. But that's all going to change, you guys. I promise. I keep saying that. I know. But I don't let a week go by without touching base with you guys. And I plan on, not letting a few days go by without at least putting a video. I can take the time to record a video and upload it. Even if it does take all day to upload, I can do that. But I did want to read these reports. They believe they found Evelyn as well, you guys, the precious baby that was missing. They believe they found her on the property of, I believe, from what I've read. I haven't researched today. You guys would probably know more than me because I haven't researched today. I just found out last night that they thought that they had found her remains on Megan's grandfather that called CPS property that Megan lived there. I believe she lived with the grandfather that called CPS and said they hadn't seen the baby, and then CPS called the sheriff's office and the sheriff's office opened an investigation. But yes, that was devastating to hear that news. So sad. And then we all know that T got arrested and that she is being held on pretty much killing Gannon. And it's just, all this is just so devastating. We are getting replica after replica of horrible mothers. So there's not just horrible dads out there. There's some horrible mothers out there. And then there's so many women that my heart goes out to because they can't have children and they'll never get to experience that. But then there's mothers that don't want to experience it and have been given the gift. And so I can't wrap my mind around these people can't just drop the baby off at the fire department or the hospital, or, you're better off abandoning than doing what they're doing. It's breaking my heart. I'm not sure about how much of a role the father played, Jennifer. That is still a mystery. I don't understand it either. Did you watch Lori in the courthouse? Yes. I actually posted all of that in my Patreon, you guys. I do keep track of my Patreon every day. As soon as I found out about T, I posted it in there. As soon as I found out about Evelyn, I posted it in there. I posted Lori's whole court appearance, the whole 45-minute session in there. And so my Patreon is a place that we're going to get up-to-date information constantly. I can't always go live and I can't always make a video, but I can always keep you updated in there. And it's only $3 a month to get in my Patreon. And then you'll be added to our private secret Facebook group. There's 30 of us. We are a tight-knit family. We love each other. We are there for one another. And it's really, really awesome. So I highly recommend joining my Patreon, not just because it puts money in my pocket, but because it's a community where you're constantly updated on the cases that I cover. We are also going to change the direction of the channel because I can't handle these kids being killed anymore. It's awful. It's breaking my heart. It's beating me down. That's why I haven't been on for a week, is because it's devastating. Finding out about Gannon, finding out about Evelyn, finding out about Sweet Faye when the neighbor did that, and finding out about Harley and finding out about all these kids, it's breaking my heart. So what we are going to do is we're going to be activists. You ladies always know what's going on. You're always aware of these cases. Some of you guys send me emails to keep me up to date, even though I sit here and watch the news all day, every day. And so I probably already know by the time you send me the email, but that's okay. Keep them coming. But we can use you guys. We all are like internet detectives. And so what I'm going to do is change the direction of the channel. I was mailing, I know I'm getting off topic, but I was mailing out the nail strips and I saw that I have a different one of you ladies in almost every state. So we have covered almost the whole entire United States, you guys. And so what I want to do is I want to start investigating these wanted cases. There are these men and women that are walking among us that are wanted, and they have done these crimes. And to have somebody like each one of you in every state, we could be standing next to the guy in the grocery store. We could be dating the guy for all we know. And my first wanted case is going to be Brian Keith Freeman, and he's an actually somewhat good-looking guy, and he broke into his girlfriend's house and killed her while her daughter was away for spring break. And that precious daughter had to come home like I did to find out that my mom had been murdered. And that is a devastating thing to find out. And he's missing. He's out there. He's wanted. He could be dating one of us for all we know. And so I am going to plaster the faces of these wanted men and women on my channel, and I'm going to let it just embed in your brains just in case maybe one of us can help find somebody one day. It could be 10 years from now. It could be tomorrow. But at some point in time, we could be standing next to somebody that is wanted on murder. And so you could be the one to call 911 and let them know that you think, you know, or the tip line or whatever. But there's just too many of us that we can be activists and help and do this together, and we may just one day find somebody. So I think it's great. And, you know, Live PD does it, and the Wanted segment on A&E does it, but that's only a few hours out of the week. What if we did it daily? What if we did it as many videos as I could? What if I just keep getting faces out there and other people decide to do it too? And so I'm actually going to monetize the wanted people. I'm still not going to monetize if I cover a missing child or something like that. I'm still not going to do it. I'm going to keep my channel the way that it was. But on the wanted people, since we're all working on this, we are all trying to find these people literally. I am going to monetize those videos. So stay tuned for the Brian Keith Freeman video. I'll break it down for you guys, tell you everything. They've even found his truck at one point. And you can help me find this guy. Because if he asked me out on a date, I would probably say yes, because he's not a bad looking dude. So this is the reason why we need to do this, is because you never know when there's a killer among us. People just hide in plain sight. And so I want to utilize all these wonderful women that are constantly digging and researching in cases and watching the ID channel and Oxygen and all this, just like me. You guys are just like me, so we can come together and do this. And I'm excited about it. So about 20 minutes, I'll read the report from the house about the house Harley was found in. And I'm going to read the interview of Heather's. I call her Mother Chili because I just don't want to say her name because she doesn't deserve any kind of shout out in any way, shape, or form, even if it's negative. I do not think she deserves anything from us. Oh, Mother Chili. And there was evidently a life insurance policy. I haven't seen the actual policy or found proof of it, but there is speculation going around that Marcus had told his coworkers that he had some kind of life insurance that took out like $1 a paycheck or something like that out of his check at work. And he was telling people at work that he had that accidental death or whatever insurance. So that brings up a whole nother red flag for me. So this Harley thing will go on forever and ever. It is going to be another John Benet Ramsey, you know what I mean? Where it's talked about for decades and never solved. I just hate the way that everything went down on that, and that the Ohio Bureau of Investigation was not called in before that, and in the beginning, and not just for the recovery. This report from the Ohio Bureau of Investigation is from when they went to recover Harley from the house. They were not involved. They did not do the interviews with the people. The local police did the interview with Heather. So, and even if the Ohio Bureau of Investigation did do Heather's interview, it wasn't until 12/26 that they did this. And they should have been all over her and him from the beginning, and all over that house from the beginning. She's good. You can look her up on YouTube, Sandy Jersey Girl. Her YouTube name is Cat Mom. Let me see. Cat Mom or something like that. Let me look it up. I can't remember what it. I know I subscribed to her. See if it's in my history. Cat Mama 18 is what she's called. Let's see if she's only 9 subscribers away from 1,000, you guys. And she posted a video 15 hours ago. It's Cat Mama 18. And she only needs 9 more subscribers to hit 1,000. So why don't you guys go over there and subscribe so she can get 1,000. And she posted a video 15 hours ago, 3 videos actually. So you can keep up with her on there. She is so precious. So precious. All right, darn, didn't hear notifications. It's okay. We just been chit-chatting. We hadn't really been doing anything, one Mama Lisa. All right. Yeah, Cat Mama 18, Soul Sister. Yep, and then her thing looks like this. She's got a picture of a book in her cover photo. See the book? And then that's what her profile picture looks like. And she uploads videos all the time. She's getting ready to hit 1,000. I'm really proud of her. So next we are going to start out with, is this it? I already read that one in Patreon. So I'm going to start off with the Ohio Attorney General's Office Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Missing person, Harley Dilly. Investigative activity 19-4055-recovery Harley Dilly. And this is the recovery. This is what went down during the recovery. Okay. On January 13th, 2020 at approximately 4:30, Special Agent Ryan Emaser made contact with Special Agent Megan Roberts in regards to the Harley Dilly investigation. Sergeant Emaser advised that a new lead had developed and investigators made entry into a home on 507 Fulton Street, Port Clinton, Ohio. Now, remember, we were all told that somebody drove by and saw the coat hanging up in the window and called the police, right? And they don't say anything any further in this report about it. They just said a tip. So Sergeant Emaser stated that clothing matching the description of what Harley was wearing on the day of his disappearance was located on the second floor of the home. Sergeant Emaser requested assistance with processing the residence and the collection of potential evidence. Sergeant Megan Roberts accepted the request. At approximately 5:45 hours, Megan Roberts arrived in Port Clinton. Emaser requested that the agent stage at the police department until a search warrant could be provided for the residence. At 6:30, Roberts was notified that the search warrant was completed and signed. Roberts arrived at 507 Fulton Street, and shortly after, Dave Hammond arrived to assist approximately at 6:45. The scene was photographed as found. The residence was a 2-story green vinyl-sided home. The home was situated within a neighborhood with additional houses surrounding the home on the north, south, east, and west. The front entry into the home was facing Fulton Street, and an alley was located approximately 90 feet to the rear of the house, east. A cement porch led to the front entrance of the home. The entrance was examined by the agent. The front door and each first floor window were examined by the agent. The windows and front door were locked and secured. The Port Clinton Police Department advised that the rear entry to the home is the door they entered the home through. The door handle and deadbolt were locked upon officers' arrival. Officers made contact with the homeowners of the property to make entry into the home. 2 keys were provided to the officers, and each key was used to unlock the handle and deadbolt. The door was examined by the agent, and no signs of forced entry were observed. 1 lockbox was located on the door handle. The keys were not present in the lockbox. Swabs with stain extraction buffer were utilized to collect potential touch DNA from the lockbox and exterior door handle of the rear entry door. The swabs were obtained as evidence. The remainder of the exterior was examined by the agents. 2 crawl space accesses were located. Again, 2 crawl space accesses were located. 1 small window was located on the east side of the residence. Emaser advised that he had forced the crawl space access open to search and secure the home. The second crawl space access was located on the south side of the home. The metal grate screen was damaged, but the screen was unable to be removed from the window. Weeds and debris were overgrown and surrounded the window. No signs of disturbance located by the agent. Both crawl spaces were examined by the agent. No signs of disturbance were located within the crawl space. One television antenna was located on the northwest corner of the home. The antenna was photographed and documented. The interior of the home was compromised. was comprised of a first and second floor. The first floor consisted of 6 rooms moving east to west through the home. The first floor contained a bathroom, a laundry room, a kitchen, a dining room, a living room, and a bedroom. Each room was photographed and measured. A diagram was completed by David Hammond. Each room was searched thoroughly by agents. The home appeared to be in the process of renovations. Multiple items were located in the house that were consistent with ongoing work throughout the home. The items included hand tools, rubber gloves, long sleeve t-shirt, white v-neck t-shirt, paintbrushes, coveralls, aprons, paint trays, drywall materials, towels, wash rags. The nitrile rubber gloves and long sleeve shirt were retained as evidence. The additional items were photographed and documented. The residence was heated by an electric fireplace and the electricity was turned on and working properly in the home. Swabs with stain extraction buffer were utilized to collect potential touch DNA from various areas within the home. These areas include the interior rear door handle and deadbolt, one kitchen cabinet, an exterior bathroom door handle, the interior front entry door handle and deadbolt, and the exterior bedroom door handle. Each swab was packaged and retained as evidence. The kitchen was examined by investigators. Multiple water bottles were observed on the kitchen table and kitchen counter. One trash bag was located hanging on the handle of the refrigerator. The garbage was examined by the agent. Additional water bottles and empty alcoholic beverage bottles were located. One Kirkland water bottle was retained as evidence. The additional items were photographed and documented. An attic space was located above the laundry room and kitchen. The attic was accessed by the agent using a pull-down ladder. A thin layer of dust and dirt was observed on the floor of the attic. No disturbance in the dust were noted. 2 windows were located in the attic on the south side of the roof. The windows were examined by Sergeant Roberts. The windows were closed and secured. The living room and bedroom were searched by investigators. An alternate light source on the CSS mode was utilized to examine all sitting areas in the living room and the bed in the bedroom. 6 areas of reaction were located on the couch and love seat in the living room. The areas were identified with place cards 1 through 6, photographed with appropriate filter, and removed from the couch with a sterile razor blade. The bed mattress or blankets located on the bed did not produce any reaction when searched with the light source. A forensic vacuum was utilized to collect any potential trace evidence from the exterior of both couches. The filters were retained and packaged as evidence. A narrow stairway led to the second floor of the residence. Port Clinton officers advised that a piece of paneling was positioned in front of the stairway upon their arrival. The paneling was moved to gain access to the second floor. The second floor was comprised of 3 rooms, 1 spare bedroom, 1 storage room, and 1 bedroom containing a mattress. Swabs with stain extraction buffer were utilized to collect potential touch DNA from the bedroom door handles and the stairwell railing. The swabs were packaged and retained as evidence. The room containing the mattress was located on the west side of the home. The mattress was propped up against the wall. No sheets or blankets were located on the mattress. The bedroom contained 1 dresser, 1 black garbage bag with sheets and blankets, and 1 closet. The blankets in the garbage bag were folded and neatly placed into the bag. 1 swab with SEB was utilized to collect potential touch DNA from the closet door handle. The swab was packaged and retained as evidence. 1 maroon coat was located hanging on the bedroom door. Port Clinton police advised that they move the coat from its original location on the floor to verify that the coat potentially belonged to Harley Dilly. So the police had hung the coat up there, they're saying. That they found it on the floor. 1 maroon coat was located hanging on the bedroom door. Port Clinton police advised that they move the coat from its original location on the floor to verify that the coat potentially belonged to Harley Dilly. The coat was placed onto a sterile piece of paper and examined by agent. The coat was Old Navy brand in size large 10-12. A rust-colored substance was located on the exterior and interior of the coat. 2 areas of the substance were tested with a presumptive color change test for blood. The presumptive test produced negative results in both areas. The coat was photographed and collected as evidence. But as you guys can see in the picture in my Patreon, when the place where they found Harley, there was soot all inside of that chimney, and they removed the bricks to get him out of that chimney. So why wasn't the coat covered in soot instead of rust? Okay, so I still believe that someone bricked him into that chimney because there was no soot in his airways from him going down the chimney alive, which means he was put in there after he was deceased. And the bricks on the picture look like that the cement that they used to lay the bricks is fresh. It's white. Normally, that is not that white when you look at bricks that have been there for a while. So the bricks look like they were relaid after Harley was placed inside. And that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So, they said a rust-colored substance was located on the exterior and interior of the coat, and that's it, but none of that black soot. The presumptive test produced negative results in both areas. The coat was photographed and collected as evidence. 1 Cleveland Browns Mayfield jersey was located on the floor near the south wall of the bedroom. The jersey was located in the original location of the maroon coat. The jersey was placed onto a sterile piece of paper and examined. No size or brand information was located on the jersey. A rust-colored substance was also observed on the jersey and again tested negative for blood. The jersey was photographed and packed as evidence. So the fact that he was found without a shirt is true. He was found without a coat and a shirt. So tell me how he went down a chimney, and stuff that would have came above him, if it came off of him, would ended up underneath him and out. How did those things that would have went above him and he got stuck get out and get past him? Because a shirt doesn't come off this way and a jacket doesn't come off this way. They come off up if you're going down. So all this is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see what else they said. Beneath the Cleveland Browns jersey was a black and red zip-up sweatshirt. The clothing appeared to be in a pile near the south wall. The sweatshirt was placed onto a sterile piece of paper and examined. The sweatshirt was Nike brand, size large. The sweatshirt was photographed and collected as evidence. On the floor beneath the clothing and on the wall trim where the clothing was located, a rust-colored substance consistent with brick was located. The substance was photographed and documented. 1 metal plate was located approximately 2 feet from the pile of clothing. The metal plate was consistent with a vent plate cover. A hole was located in the wall directly above the clothing, approximately 6 feet above the floor. The vent plate appeared to have been originally covering the hole. The hole in the wall was approximately 6 inches in diameter. The hole appeared to be used for heat ventilation, and a wood-burning stove would have been installed. The pipe leading from the stove would be vented out of the home and into the chimney. A second vent plate was located in the hallway of the second floor. The vent plate was approximately 5 feet away from where the clothing was located. The vent plates were packaged and retained as evidence. A responding vent hole was located on the wall in the storage room. Below the vent hole, eyeglasses were located on the floor. The eyeglasses were dark in color and contained a thin layer of dust and debris. The glasses were photographed and packaged as evidence. So that's the vent plate. We all have seen people put vent plates over those holes from chimneys and wood stoves. Oh, that's got to go over here. All right, so then this is a picture of the glasses. A camera was inserted into the hole in an attempt to view the interior of the chimney. The camera did not produce high-quality image. Investigators reached into the hole to examine the interior of the wall, and agents located the body of Harley Dilly. There's his glasses. And then the next picture is where they hung up his coat. But you can see it's not covered in black either. But it's not a great picture. But there was also no soot in his airways. And then the east exterior of the storage room and the north interior of the wall of the storage room were evacuated by agents. The east exterior wall was compromised of fresh paint and drywall. Upon removal of the drywall, the agents located brick and mortar. The brick and mortar appeared to be consistent with the older age of the home. Agents could not access the interior of the wall. The north interior wall of the storage room was compromised of a thin layer of plastic and brick. Upon excavation of the walls, agents located the chimney of the home. The body of Harley Dilly was located inside of the chimney. The interior of the chimney measured 9 by 13. And we all knew that. And then Dilly was positioned with his head toward the roof of the home and his feet toward the floor of the home. Dilly appeared to be standing on the floor of the chimney with his knees slightly bent. His body was facing the storage room. Both his arms were bent at the elbows, and both elbows were up near his head. Dilly's right arm was bent with his hand near his back. His left arm was bent with his hand near his chest. He was clothed in a pair of boxer briefs. A layer of dust and debris covered the entirety of Dilly's body. Dilly was in advanced stage of decomp. They used some laser scanner. The scans were completed. The body of Harley was removed from the chimney and placed in the body bag. The Ottawa coroner examined the body and ordered the body to be transported to Lucas County Coroner's Office. Upon removal of the body, one pair of dark-colored sweatpants, one pair of dark-colored slip-on shoes, one blue flashlight, one white sock, and one black sock were located on the floor of the chimney. The clothing was transported to Lucas County Coroner Office. The flashlight was packaged and retained as evidence. No other items of evidentiary value were located. Investigators cleared the scene at 2 a.m. So I just don't understand how he got all his clothes off. Examination of the scene included the bedroom walls and bricks associated with the chimney is consistent with the victim entering the residence from the roof opening. The position of the victim and associated articles of clothing located on the floor are consistent with the victim falling down the chimney. It is likely that the clothes were pushed out from the chimney into the bedroom living space through the vent openings as the victim attempted to create additional space inside the chimney to breathe. The rust-colored dust in the clothing collected was visually consistent with the color of the brick in the chimney. Examination of the home did not locate anything to indicate that Harley Dilly took up residence inside the home while investigators searched for him. I mean, I beg to differ. You found water in there. You found a bed in there. You found blankets. It did make me think that he did take up there. Yeah, they found him in only his underwear. So, how did his clothes the rest of his clothes were stuck inside the chimney? How did the clothes that were on the top part of his body end up out? They're saying something about the chimney pushing them out as he's going down. None of it makes sense. It says that it is likely, doesn't say it is likely that the clothing was pushed out from the chimney into the bedroom living spaces through the vent openings as the victim attempted to create additional space inside the chimney to breathe. The rust-colored dust in the clothing collected was visually consistent with the color of the brick in the chimney. Examination of the home did not locate anything to indicate that Harley took up residence inside the home while the investigators were searching for him. There were no signs of an improvised sleeping area, use of bathroom facilities, water shut off, or food consumption. No food wrappers. All items of evidence collected from the scene were transferred to Detective Ron Timmons. The photos were uploaded into Matrix and will serve as the master images. And so there is a picture in my Patreon. You guys can Google it, the Harley Dilly chimney. And you can see where investigators had to take the brick down. And inside the chimney where Harley's body was, it's black. You see the soot. It's completely black. So if he went down that chimney alive, I feel like he would have that soot in his airways. And also, I feel like if he went down and his shirt came off, then I don't understand how they ended up, out. Wouldn't they have landed on his head? And the same way he did, how was there some other opening into the home that they went out of on their own as he's trying to breathe? There was no way, it was 9 by 13. So there was no way to make room to breathe. So I don't understand it 100%. And maybe one day I will. Maybe one day somebody will investigate it. It'll be a documentary. I tried to get private investigators on it, and they all said that it would be a career suicide. It's a publicity nightmare. And so we're just going to have to all wait and see how it plays out. Those interviews will be on YouTube at some point in time, and we'll get more information as we go, just like we did John Bonet. But we're still all wondering what happened to that baby girl. Yeah, the jacket was clean. It just had brick rust on it. So I'm lost to it all, but I did notice that the bricks that they found him in look like they had been put up themselves. And there's evidence of remodeling all around. Listen to the items that they found. So somebody that would have bricked him in there and put the old bricks and just put new cement would have had all these items that they found. They're consistent with someone that did that. Listen to the items they found. They found hand tools, rubber gloves, long sleeve t-shirt, white v-neck, a paint brushes, coveralls, aprons, paint trays, drywall materials, towels, and wash rags. And you can see around that chimney, it's fresh paint and fresh drywall. You can see that the bricks look old in that picture that's in my Patreon. But you guys can Google it and see it. They show the chimney that they removed him out of, and you see where they had to pull all the bricks down. But if you look at the wall around that chimney area, you'll see it's fresh paint, fresh drywall. And if you look at the bricks and look at the cement that's in between the bricks that have been there for a while, the cement between them is not white. It's not. They end up getting dirty and dingy and matching the red in the bricks. Not in this case. You can clearly see the cement or whatever that slab is they used to put the bricks together. Mortar, I think it's called. So, insane. Now, this is also going to break your heart. When I read you Heather Dilly's interview, it does not sound like a grieving mother. She gives jabs at Harley throughout the interview. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She tries to tell them that Asperger's is not autism, and it is. It's on the spectrum. And this is going to break your heart. When I read you this interview from Mother Chili, that's what I'm calling her, Mother Chili, it can bring you to tears. Luckily, I've already read this one in my Patreon, and so I just want to warn you that it does not sound like a grieving mother, and it sounds like somebody trying to cover her butt or a Father Chili's butt. So here we go. I'm telling you, it upsets me. Upsets me. Interview with subject Mother Dilly. Narrative. On December 26, 2019, Special Agents Ed Carlini and Brenda Golek of the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation interviewed Heather Dilly. So they did interview her. It was them. Mother of missing endangered 14-year-old, but it was the Ohio Bureau of Investigation, not the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Somebody like Tammy should have been interviewing this lady. They should have called in FBI to interview her or give her a lie detector test, but no. Okay, so they were interviewed. Mother Dilly, or Mother Chili, mother of missing endangered 14-year-old Harley Dilly, at the Port Clinton Police Department. Heather Dilly voluntarily met with the agents inside the Port Clinton Police Department conference room. This interview was video recorded and later submitted to the case files as exhibit. And I bet you we're going to end up getting this video at some point in time on YouTube. Heather Dilly began by now she voluntarily went to this interview, but she's not the one that reported Harley missing. That Marcus reported him missing 2 days later. Okay. Heather Dilly began by advising the overall time that her son, Harley Dilly, had been missing was increasingly concerning because this was not like him. She indicated Harley should have had multiple baths by now, pertaining to his desire to bathe several times a day, and only eat select food items, hot fries, specific pizza, and specific types of chicken patties. Heather also mentioned the difficulty in staying positive and reiterated how unusual this behavior is for her son to not have returned home. She described him as a mama's boy through and through and that he loves to give hugs. Dilly stated she and Harley had just visited with her niece at their home on Thursday night and recalled a discussion between Heather's friend Julie and Harley regarding an upcoming Sunday visit for the holidays. Heather recalled Julie asked Harley if he would be attending the Sunday gathering, which he never attends, and Harley replying that he would because there will be presents. Dilly recalled Julie even mentioning the fact that she may have an Xbox video game console available to Harley, because his own video game console had been taken away due to a previous incident where Harley physically attacked his father. She stated Harley is all about his gaming, even though he still plays with wrestler figures in the tub. So that's her jabbing him when her son is missing. That's just awful that you have to say that about your 14-year-old. When asked how long Harley had been accustomed to having a specific routine, Chili replied since he was 5. She described how even when Head Start workers would visit him at their home, Harley would maintain a specific routine with monster trucks and his other favorite toys. Heather said now Harley's life and routine surrounds video games and gaming. Heather advised Harley usually plays online games and visits with his friend James and goes to Danielle and Junior's. Heather expressed that she did not like Danielle because she struck Harley on one occasion. Heather believes Harley would tell Danielle and Junior that he was not being fed or cared for properly at home, just to get certain things or food from them, but indicated she and her husband had begun trying to get him to eat regular foods, not just chicken, pizza, and hot fries. And that sounds just like Gage. He loves cheese pizza, chicken nuggets, and Takis. So she just didn't know how to handle his mental illness. Dilly told the agents that she has some poor memory due to recent medical situation in which she was hospitalized and died 8 times. She said that happened in February of 2019. She said she was frozen and put into a coma for 25 days, and her parents moved into her home to take care of her children. Heather said her parents altered Harley's routines during this period of time, and that upset Harley. She again reiterated she oftentimes has memory lapses due to hypoxia, but recalled Harley making online videos which discussed his concerns for her medical condition. Chili advised again she could not understand what would cause him to leave and cited his routine of his daily life. Heather recalled several past instances where Harley would get upset with her or her husband and stated even when he got mad, he would sit down, go away, calm down, and just come back. It's just his nature. When asked to describe the week leading up to Harley's disappearance, Heather began by stating Harley had asked her for a pair of leggings for his new girlfriend, Tessa, on Sunday, and they discussed size and the fact that they had a Pepsi logo. Apparently, Harley was going to give the leggings to Tessa for her birthday later that day. She found out Harley did not go to her birthday party because Tessa broke up with him. Heather indicated Harley did not explain the details to her, stating he never opened up about it and had no idea how long the two had been boyfriend or girlfriend. She knew that recently Harley talked about getting back together with previous girlfriend Abby, but knew Abby's father did not like him around his daughter because Harley was a crybaby. What do you mean, 8? My son is 8. I can't believe she's calling him a crybaby when he's been missing for 2 days. Heather explained Monday was Harley's choir concert, which her husband attended. She was home watching her other child. So she sent Marcus to his choir concert. She didn't even go herself. Skipping over to Wednesday, Heather recalled attending a leggings show to which Harley had accompanied her. Heather said she had a video of her and Harley at the show where he was waving and saying hi. Dilly told the agent she had her own business selling leggings to assist the family with paying medical bills and wanted to be able to provide some income in case something ever happens to her. Heather then referenced the incident that happened with Marcus, but was asked to explain further. She advised Harley had become addicted to video games, and there was an incident where he had refused to get off the game. She said the incident started between Marcus and Harley, but she witnessed some of the conflict after arriving home. Apparently, Harley refused Marcus' demands to shut his video game off, and Harley began yelling, "You are ruining my life," while physically blocking access to his game and even shut off power to the house. Heather said the police were called to their home during the incident, and Harley seemed to calm down afterwards. Heather said after that, Harley stopped asking about the game system because he had his phone and managed to use it for his gaming. Dilly then recalled some recent behavior issues with Harley at his school, advising he was recently in trouble for slapping another student, resulting in a charge of assault. Dilly said they received paperwork Monday or Tuesday, which indicated Harley would have to go to court on January 3rd, 2020. She said Harley was surprised by the fact that he would have to answer to the charges, previously saying nothing would happen of it, and possibly face being detained in juvenile facility. She stated Harley had actually just returned to school from another suspension on December 6th from an incident where he had kicked another student in the testicles. Dilly said that incident did not result in charges, but caused him to be put on a behavioral plan. So if it didn't result in charges, imagine what the other kid did to him for him to do that. And then they didn't even charge Harley with kicking him in the testicles because the other kid probably did something so bad he deserved it. Returning back to the original request to describe the week, Heather recalled everything seemed good. Nothing that he appeared to be getting along with family and even his little brother. She stated he was not short with her whatsoever and could not recall any conflict with Harley until the morning of December 20th when he did not want to go to school. Heather remembered telling him to get his ASS to school because it was his last day. Now, I find it odd that he's so bad and he does this and he's kicking kids and he's doing that and he's getting back from a suspension. But the week before he comes up missing, you just happen to have no problems with him, that he was an angel. He was getting along with Rory and getting along with everybody. There was no conflict. Just happened to happen a week before he disappeared. But then all other times you talk about him, you say he was a handful and there was problems. The agents asked Heather Dilly about Harley's interest in video games, specifically which ones he liked to play. She indicated he liked Fortnite, Madden NFL, and Roblox, and knew his online username, screen name for these games was something like Onyx something. Heather would later provide the agents with Harley's username Onyx9 and indicated he normally played these video games with an Xbox gaming console and or his cellular phone. She stated Harley normally played Roblox at the library. And I'm wondering if they didn't pawn that Xbox that he kept asking for back. They took the Xbox from him, but what if they went and pawned it and it was never in the house to begin with because he finally gave up after she called the cops on him for asking for it back? Heather Dilly next began to explain why she did not contact the police on Friday when Harley did not return home as expected. She stated Harley sometimes would get upset and not necessarily with us and just needed to get away. She said neither she nor her parents felt his failure to come home or make contact was unusual. Heather recalled prior occasions where he stayed somewhere else or simply never called because his phone died. She stated her family started to get concerned when they arrived home Saturday and Harley had not become home by curfew time. Heather indicated things became real after that and believed that Harley did not run away. When asked if Harley uses his gaming more for entertainment or to socialize with others online, Heather advised Harley oftentimes gets blacklisted or has his account temporarily suspended for arguing with other participants. She recalled hearing him on occasion yelling at others and later would explain that he sometimes has no filter and just speaks his mind. I wonder where he got that from. Heather also told agents Harley wants to be famous and enjoys giving commentary or broadcasting. She could not recall which game specifically he may have been blacklisted from, but friend James Crow would know, or Junior or Daniel would. Heather Dilly told agents that although she sometimes feels like she hasn't been there much for Harley, he would still cuddle up with her and the two would share personal time. Heather recalled trying to do more with Harley, movies, involvement with her leggings business, but he almost always preferred gaming. Heather advised Harley recently became involved in playing football, and she recalled being very proud of him for enduring the practices and starting to slightly change his diet, mentioning trying an egg. She continued by saying Harley quit the team when actual tackling and contact was required, but was never told why. Heather said Harley eventually was made a team manager, but ultimately became disinterested in the job because of the lack of praise he received. Do you hear how she talks about him? She recalled Harley liking that several students recognized him, spoke with him for his involvement with the team. She could not specifically name anyone in particular on the team that he had a problem with, and in fact stated she continued to help the football program by volunteering with fundraisers. When asked if Harley would have ever confided in anyone in particular with any problems, she replied that it would have been with an after-school mentoring program he was involved with. Yet, in parentheses, they found out Harley had not attended any mentoring for several weeks prior to his disappearance. When asked to give details about Harley's damaged cellular telephone, Heather stated Harley broke his original cell phone, unbeknownst to her or her husband. She said at some time, Heather recalled Harley telling her that his screen was cracked and needed a new phone. However, she told Harley that she was unable to get him a new one and that upset him. Heather recalled Harley taking the phone, which she later determined to be one of her old cellular phones, into his room and proceeding to break the device over the metal rail of his bed or futon. Harley reportedly gave the damaged device to her before removing the SIM card, and she retained it with a date to record the incident. While it was unclear at the time of the interview when Heather collected the original phone or how it became damaged, she indicated both devices had been turned over to the Port Clinton Police Department. She told the agents that Harley had also damaged his school-issued Chromebook device, but had an agreement with them that Harley was not to remove it from the school grounds to avoid paying for any damages, which shows she was mad at him for breaking the phone and breaking the Chromebook, which she told the school was supposed to stay at the school. So she was mad at the school too. So that's probably why she ignored all the school's phone calls, is because she thought that they were calling about the money for the Chromebook. Heather Dilly determined that Harley would have been without any cellular device known to her since December 17th. She recalled this date by using her leggings show and again mentioned the fact that Harley seemed to be in a decent mood that week. When asked about Harley not wanting to attend school on this last day before Christmas break, Heather stated that was normal, and oftentimes he simply would not feel well due to his poor eating habits. She indicated the school would know more about Harley's behavior at school more than she would. The agents asked Heather if Harley was currently taking medications for any of his diagnosed issues, and she replied no. She explained that he used to take medication and actually had upcoming medical counseling appointments scheduled. She recalled having to physically drag Harley to counseling appointments in the past, only to realize the counselor told Harley he didn't have to attend the sessions if he didn't want to. Heather explained that was why they began using the previously mentioned mentoring program. She stated Harley seemed to exhibit behavior issues approximately every 3 months when school breaks or holidays came around because he was having to be at home with you. You just told on yourself. He was having behavior issues when school breaks were coming around because he didn't want to be at home with you guys. That is a telltale sign. She said Heather clarified Harley has Asperger's, not autism, as well as oppositional defiant disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, sensory processing disorder, and anger issues. And thank you, Heather. If you could educate yourself enough on Asperger's, it is high-functioning autism. It falls on the spectrum. There's a spectrum, low-functioning, where they are mute and can't talk, and high-functioning, which are super smart and just major social issues. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe she said that. She gets on my nerves. Heather Dilly said Harley just saw their newest granddaughter on Thursday, explaining that their other son, Rory, is actually their daughter's child, but they adopted him because their daughter couldn't be a mom. This discussion led to an explanation of how her daughter became pregnant again and had another child and gave it to a family member on the paternal father's side. Heather again then spoke about her recent medical issues and possibly how everything probably affected Harley. When asked about the longest time Harley had ever been away from the family without any contact, Heather replied, "That's why we called," meaning it was longer than he had ever been away. She told the agents that Harley not coming home Friday was normal, but Saturday was definitely not, and it was cause for concern. When Harley did not come home by Saturday evening, her husband, Marcus Dilly, immediately began driving around the places where he could be and notified police when he was not located. Heather further explained details of Thursday at their house, stating Harley was home for the granddaughter visit and interacted with several other people that were there visiting. She recalled having hot chocolate with a friend at her house, going through gift bags as she made up, and going to Arby's, receipt already provided to Port Clinton PD, for Marcus to get food. Heather said she checked on Harley at the end of the day between 10:30 and 11 o'clock and physically saw he was in the bed sleeping. The agents told Heather Dilly that obtained a video footage evidence suggesting that Harley left their residence on foot at approximately 8 p.m., you guys, on Thursday, December 19th, and returned 8 minutes later. Heather seemed surprised by the information and could not think of why he would have done that and could not advise of any friends' homes that would be that close, other than the possibility that of James Crow. Heather was asked about any stores or other nearby locations that Harley favored, and she replied, Harley likes to go to the corner store drive-through because they have his hot fries. After further discussion regarding the 8-minute return time, Heather seemed doubtful he could have made it to either the corner store or to the Crow's residence. Heather stated neither she or her husband would have given him money to purchase anything at the store, and added she recently checked their residence and all loose change, small amounts of money had not been removed. I think he went to the house. I think that was one. He went across the street and maybe got it ready for something, met somebody in the house. Who knows? I don't know. But why did he leave on Thursday night for 8 minutes? And they have him on surveillance doing that. Heather was asked if Harley would normally run or walk to get places, and she stated that the boy doesn't run. When advised Harley appeared to be running in the video footage, she again seemed surprised by the information and could offer no plausible location he would have gone to. She stated his poor girlfriend Tessa lived at least 1 mile away. So he's seen running on Thursday night, and she even admits that he don't run. So he was scared, you guys. Oh, what happened that night? Agents asked Heather about the halfway house that is situated next to their residence and if she ever had any issues with any of the occupants. Heather Dilly indicated she did not like living next to it and acknowledged that there were creepy people living there. She said she had heard stories from neighbors and things going on there and discussed with her husband about getting video cameras to set up at their house. Heather did say she sold a vehicle to one of the residents and made arrangements to have someone there do yard work for her, but could not specifically recall having issues with any particular residents. So you're calling them creepy and you're saying that you need video surveillance, but you're selling them a vehicle and letting them mow your yard. Which one is it, Heather? That just completely flip-flopped like a fish out of water. Heather recalled recently speaking with one of her neighbors after Harley went missing and noted that even she remarked that he was always quiet and pretty much stayed in his yard. Heather stated her husband even purchased a mini bike and a go-kart for Harley to use on their property, but he never showed any interest. She again stated he goes to James and Daniel's houses. The agents inquired as to if Harley was able to swim, and she stated he never had lessons but learned to swim while we were in Florida and swam at Little Ted's. Heather indicated Little Ted's were cottages located in Marblehead, Ohio, and owned by family friends. She said she had to drag him to go because he did not want to swim. Heather stated although the cottages were approximately 14 miles away from their home and did not believe he would walk that far, efforts were underway to check the area for Harley. Heather did state Harley would know how to get there and was familiar with the nearby stores and layout. Heather Dilly next told the agents that she and her husband tried to get Harley involved with fishing, archery, gun safety, shooting, but he did not stay interested. She recalled Harley went canoeing at a Salvation Army camp one year, but really does not prefer to be outdoors and dislikes bugs. My son hates bugs too. If there is even a bee or a gnat or a fly in the car while we're driving, I have to pull over and get it out before we can go anywhere because he flips out about bugs. Everything in this report reminds me of Gage, you guys. And so I feel so bad that Harley was misunderstood because I thought that I had to raise my son that way too. He's going to listen my way or the highway. If he don't like it, then too bad. He can suck it up. But you cannot parent a child with high functioning autism like that. It takes a different kind of parenting, positive parenting, rewards first and then schedules, visual aids. There's lots of things, and it's the parent that needs to educate themselves, not break the child. When asked about the likelihood if Harley could be living or camping in a tent somewhere, Heather stated no way. She stated her daughter ran away once before and was found living in a tent, but seemed adamant Harley would not have the same desire to remain outdoors. Heather then abruptly asked the agents again about the fact that Harley was observed on video leaving their house at approximately 8 p.m. on Thursdays and wondered why her husband had not mentioned it to her. The discussion continued that perhaps Marcus Dilly had not known or did not remember. So why did she bring it back up? She was scared that he was caught running out of the house like that. Heather then, when asked if Harley would ever play hide and seek or just hide somewhere specific as a child, Heather stated no, he wouldn't even touch the grass. Heather did recall one of Harley's counselors telling him to turtle up, meaning curl your body inward, when he became scared or upset. She could not offer any other specific things Harley would seek out when upset or frightened, but did recall that they had taught Harley the safe word Monster Jam. to prevent anyone unauthorized from picking him up or taking him anywhere. Heather again stated Harley's main interests are gaming, sports, football, and baseball, and the associated facts and statistics. Heather again mentioned Harley enjoyed the library and knew he had gone there with both ex-girlfriends Tessa and Abigail. She stated the library was straight up Fifth Avenue and across from the courthouse, but indicated Harley could not have went there and back in 8 minutes. She's still worried about that 8-minute surveillance. Heather was asked what, if anything, Harley would have valued and taken with him if he was planning on running away from home. She stated a phone, if he had it, but she had both of them. When asked about sports memorabilia or possibly a ledger containing gaming social media passwords, Heather believed Harley only possessed sports-themed clothing and memorized all of his gaming passwords and usernames. When asked about the red puffer jacket, originally listed as being worn by Harley, Heather confirmed that the jacket was in fact missing from the home. While she was unsure what shirt he may have been wearing, she theorized he would be wearing a sports-themed jersey, Cleveland Cavaliers or Cleveland Browns. Heather stated the father of his friend James Crow had recently cleaned out the garage and gave Harley 2 garbage bags full of sports-related clothing and shoes so he could be wearing items that she had never personally observed. These are the 2 trash bags I think she donated. After, this is my speculation, after that happened on Thursday night, I do not think the little boy walking to school on surveillance on that Friday morning is Harley. I don't. It's too grainy. It doesn't look like him. I believe whatever happened to him in his home on Thursday night. The surveillance caught him running out, and even Heather says that he doesn't run. I believe that it had already happened on Thursday night, and that's why she went and donated the 2 big bags of clothes. She donated the 2 big bags of clothes that the man had given Harley because she knew he didn't need them anymore. Why keep these 2 big bags of clothes that he got from cleaning out the garage from James's dad when she already knew his demise was the night before? That's where the 2 big trash bags of clothes come in. Right here it says she was unsure of what he had on because she stated the father of his friend James Crow had recently cleaned out the garage and gave Harley 2 garbage bags full of sports-related clothing and shoes so he could be wearing items that she had never personally observed. She indicated Harley would not wear any particular type of undershirt, but recalled that she just bought him Fruit of the Loom brand boxer jock-type underwear, black or another similar dark color. Heather further indicated Harley would not wear jeans, despite having some in the room, but almost always wearing athletic-type fabric pants with lines down the sides, a Nike logo, or the AND1 logo that Walmart sells. Now, my son is the same way. He has lots of jeans that I can force him to wear, but if he has his choice, he wants soft pants. He says soft shorts or soft pants, which means sweatpants, athletic pants. So my son is the same way, but it's crazy that she mentions those underwear that he's found in, right? Heather advised Harley does not wear any type of jewelry and has no piercings or tattoos. She indicates he has no obvious body defects with the exception of 1 scar on the middle of his forehead, which she described as looking like the Harry Potter thing, and a freckle birthmark on his left ribcage area. Although she could not determine what shoes Harley would have been wearing, partly due to the James Crow clothing, Heather knew he wore between size 8.5 and 9.5, depending on the brand. Wow. The agent continued by obtaining general medical descriptive information about Harley, not all of which was detailed in this report. Heather was asked if she knew of anyone in school or otherwise that had a problem with Harley or whom Harley had a problem with. Heather could not specifically name anyone that she personally knew of, but advised that she had been forwarding that type of information to the Port Clinton PD when someone would give her information or tell her about people Harley had conflicts with. Heather gave the example that she was told Harley had actually left school early on Thursday due to being mad at someone. However, she was unable to confirm that. She suggested the Port Clinton school resource officer at Harley's school could be contacted to verify that. Heather did know that Harley was giving a past disciplinary suspension for slapping Tessa's ex-boyfriend. and again mentioned the unknown male that Harley kicked in the balls. Heather Dilly explained Harley had been bullied a lot in the past and in fact believes he started acting out at others because of it. She told the agents that neither she nor her husband ever condoned Harley physically harming other students and in fact would force Harley to apologize, write a letter to their parents, or do something. And you wonder why he's getting bullied. Oh my God, I cannot believe he gets bullied and then y'all force him to write an apology letter to the parents. That is messed up. Heather again mentioned she went through similar issues with her daughter, who also ended up running away, but only for 3 days before being found hiding in an attic. Wouldn't you say that something's going on in that home if all the kids are running away? Why are they going to let Rory be next? When asked if she knew of anyone that would want to harm Harley, Heather stated no. She was similarly asked if any of Harley's friends would hide him at his request, and she stated James Crow would not, and in fact has helped her convince or persuade Harley to do things he didn't want to do, and in turn would do the same for James. She considered James a good kid and would not help hide him. Heather did mention she was convinced Danielle Jr. and that mom would not help hide Harley, stating the mother had accused her on prior occasions of mistreating Harley. And I believe this is the lady that emailed me and told me all about what she had witnessed over the years. I'm not sure if that was her or not, but they were anonymous. But they lived right around this area. She said that that Heather mistreated Harley with food, discipline, and etc., and wanted to have him stay the night at her house. She recalled an incident that happened last year when Heather used her Facebook account to complain and detail how this woman wouldn't let me see my own kid. She indicated alcohol and marijuana was being used at the home and Harley was prohibited from being there while on his most recent probation. Heather would later state the mother's first name is Danielle and already known by the police. The agents asked Heather who's Harley's closest friend is, and she replied James. She spoke about James' dad always took Harley to the Cleveland Cavaliers game, and she would do things like bring James McDonald's food or do things for him. Heather briefly described the curfew rules she had with Harley, stating, if he went somewhere after school, I tried to have him call me, but it not always worked. Heather advised she, at one point, used a family tracker application on their cell phones, but it was not always reliable, or Harley wouldn't have his phone or would shut it off. When speaking about herself allowing Harley to have freedom to go to places without checking in, she stated, maybe I'm a bad person, but he is 14 years old, always came home, is not incompetent, gets great grades, or at least did, and is a good kid. That's not the kid you described in this whole interview. Wow. The agents reconfirmed that Harley had his own cellular telephone before breaking her spare phone, and that it was provided to police. Heather was asked if the original phone came with any messaging, social media applications such as Snapchat. Heather indicated Harley did not want to get Snapchat, but she did not allow it because she believed it to be a way to cheat and sneak around, recalling that was what her daughter had used to get in trouble. Oh my God, Heather. Heather transitioned the topic of conversation to the way she researches things, and then to the fact that she helps the community with charity work. When asked again about messaging apps, Heather suggested Harley only used his gaming applications, Fortnite, Madden, and Roblox. Watch the video before this one. It's about communal narcissists and covert narcissists, and this is definitely Mother Chili. Mother Chili is a covert narcissist. Mother Chili is a communal narcissist. They like to brag about their community work. They like to talk about how they're helping people out, blah, 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 bleh. When all the while, it's all about me, 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 and they're incapable of love, and they're incapable of having any kind of feelings other than their own about themselves. After confirming with Heather that all cellular communication devices had been turned over to the police, she was asked if she personally had heard of anything disturbing about what could have happened to Harley. Heather reported no threats or issues other than becoming aware of a comment posted on Harley's YouTube channel after he had already been missing for several days. Heather explained on December 20th, a viewer posted the comment, "I can't believe I still have him," on Harley Dilly's 2.0 YouTube channel, where he discusses video game matters. Further discussion about the comment revealed that it could be taken as a coincidence or possibly a dark-humored response. This comment was already known to investigative team and was being evaluated. Continuing the conversation about anything Heather may have heard as possible lead, she mentioned being warned about keeping Harley away from a neighbor, specific name given. Heather described him as an older white male in his 60s and having shorter stature and a heavy build. She stated this individual lived close by their house and was familiar to the family. Heather provided additional details about this individual, and the lead was explored by the investigative team. Refer to the video recording for further details. Heather could identify no other older kids who Harley may have possibly gone away with and did not know of any who operate a vehicle. She stated Harley has been cussing more, but believed it could have been due to him now attending high school. Heather Dilly realized that a female juvenile, Kaylee, lives on our road somewhere and recalled Harley at one time attending a festival with her with common friends. How are you going to let him attend a festival with somebody when you don't even know where the girl lives? She lives somewhere on this street, but yeah, go to the festival with him. I mean, this report is chock full of all the ways she was a horrible mother. Although not living in the direction that Harley was observed running back from, Heather suggested contacting her via mutual friend Abigail. When agents asked Heather if she thought Harley had ran away, she stated no. When asked if she thought Harley was kidnapped, she replied, "I find it hard to believe he would get into a car with anyone because we went over that." Heather ultimately would tell the agents her fear that Harley had pissed someone off and they did something to him. She again reiterated, "This isn't like Harley." Heather was asked by agents if Harley would have run off after a particular animal or possibly just followed train tracks, and she stated no. She stated Harley does not like the taste of alcoholic beverages, is allergic to smoke, and has asthma. She told agents she just has the feeling something happened to Harley, fearing that because he is very opinionated and will argue and fight, even though he is not physically strong. The agents concluded the interview at approximately 15:15 after Heather Dilly retrieved her cellular phone and provided Harley's aforementioned Microsoft Xbox username. That just gave me chills when I read it. She thinks that he pissed someone off and they did something to him. And she said it twice. So this is crazy, man. It is not okay. This is not okay. And this is why I'm switching over to wanted cases so we can actually do something and feel good about ourselves. And we find somebody maybe there's 54 people watching, that if we show wanted pictures to 54 people, we could possibly help put somebody away. I want to start doing the good work. I hate reporting all this horrible death and bad parenting and people dropping the ball and these children being failed. I hate it. I can't report on that anymore. I may here and there, if a case is close to home, but it's breaking me, you guys. We've got to do something to help in the community. And so what I'm going to start doing is covering wanted faces. And there are so many of you guys and one of me. And so we could come together and we can be looking for these people. These people still date after they kill people. They still pretend to be friends to people. They are sitting right next to some of us. There are murderers among us, you guys. And so it's time to change the direction of this channel so we can take action instead of sitting here and just getting knocked down and knocked down and knocked down with all these children being killed. And in my personal opinion, everything screams that Thursday night, something terrible happened to that young boy and he was never seen again. And the proof is that His mom said that he didn't even like to run, but yet he's seen running out from the house. How do we know they didn't jump in a car and go get him? How do we know that? We don't. And so I'm very, very sad that FBI didn't get brought in the very beginning. I'm very sad that Tammy Lee didn't get to, or somebody in Ohio like her didn't get to take care of this. It's serious, man. And we need to do something to help this true crime community instead of just reporting devastation after devastation after devastation. Thank you, JoJo. I've said that from the beginning. The white mortar does not make sense. And the drywall and the paint outside of the chimney. If that brick was the brick that was originally there, it would not have white mortar. Okay? It wouldn't. And you saw the inside of the chimney. It was black. If he went down that chimney alive, there would have been soot in his airways. He was put in that chimney, you guys. He was put in that chimney. Mark my words. So, yeah, it's like she really didn't like him. She didn't even give recent pictures of him. We all saw what Harley looked like after his body was found. She was giving baby pictures because she wanted them to believe he went down that chimney. 9 by 13, you guys. The size of a piece of paper. He went down a chimney that big. I mean, impossible. Impossible. So stay tuned, you guys. Lori's bail got dropped down to $1 million. I don't know if she bailed out today, but I know that it did get dropped down from $5 million to $1 million. If you are interested in staying caught up on all the cases that we're covering the day that it happens, then join my Patreon, you guys. It's only $3 a month. I'll get an email and I'll add you to the group, and we'll go from there. So thank you so much. I also am still selling my Mary Kay and my 100% real nail polish strips. I've had these on for 8 days now. And so the links for those are down below. If you want to order some nail strips and help a sister out, that link is down below. If you want to get some Mary Kay and have your skin look as great as mine does, as old as I am, get yourself some Mary Kay down below. I may do a pop-up shop later. I may not. I don't know, but I'll keep you posted. I love you guys. See you soon. Bye.